Stubby. World War One hero, Stubby the dog soldier. World War One was raging across Europe. The Central Powers, led by Germany, had attacked the Allied powers, which included France, Great Britain, and Russia. In April of 1917, the United States entered the war, siding with the Allies. Private J. Robert Conroy came to New Haven, Connecticut. He was training in the 102nd Infantry Regiment in the Army's 26th Yankee Division. A young dog was often seen trotting proudly behind Private Conroy. The shabby stray had been shadowing him for weeks, ever since Conroy had tossed the pup a few scraps to eat. One day, Conroy brought his canine friend back to his barracks. He made a bed for him under his bunk. The young pup watched as the soldiers talked excitedly. "Dogs aren't allowed in here," one said. Another asked, "What's his name?" Conroy replied, "Stubby, because of his stubby tail." Stubby slept in the barracks and ate with the men. He even took part in training drills. Conroy trained him to follow commands. During the summer of 1917, the soldiers of the 26th headed overseas. They were going to war. Not wanting to leave Stubby behind, Conroy snuck him aboard the ship. After arriving in France, a commanding officer spotted Stubby. Dogs weren't allowed on the battlefield. But Stubby was no ordinary pooch. He raised one paw in salute. The officer was impressed and made Stubby the Yankee Division's mascot. Soldiers from the 26th were among the first US soldiers to enter the war. What they saw horrified them. The land was torn apart. Lines of injured soldiers were carried off the battlefield. Early in 1918, the 26th reached the Chemin des Dames. In this dangerous area of France, Stubby and Conroy saw their first action. They hunkered down in the trenches along the front line. Bullets whizzed overhead. Shells thudded nearby. But there was one danger far more terrifying. One morning, as the soldiers of the 26th slept, a yellow fog rolled in. It moved west, blowing from enemy lines. The fog drifted across no man's land and towards their trenches. Stubby lifted his nose. A deadly scent tainted the air. Stubby jumped up and ran to the top of the trench. He barked and howled, trying to wake the sleeping soldiers. They were exhausted. Gunfire had kept them up all night. As Conroy blinked his eyes open, Stubby darted under a pile of blankets. All that could be seen of him was his stubby tail. Then Conroy realized the danger. Mustard gas was spilling into the trenches. It had been hidden by the morning fog. "Gas! Gas! Gas!" the cry went out. Men grabbed respirator masks as poisonous fumes clawed their lungs. The gas burned their skin and eyes. Some soldiers suffered from the gas attack, but no one died. Stubby had saved the day, and no one would ignore his warnings again. Stubby quickly grew used to the sounds of war, and he proved his worth on the battlefield. Darting about, he yipped encouragement to his fellow soldiers. If a soldier got hurt in battle, Stubby dashed to his side. He then barked to alert medics so they could find the wounded man. Slowly, the Allies pushed back the Germans. In July of 1918, the fighting moved to the small town of Chateau Thierry. The battle was deadly. Stubby and the 26th crawled forward through the bomb craters. They ducked under sniper fire. Suddenly, Stubby's ears perked up. He heard a mortar shell whistling towards them. Stubby dropped to the ground just before the bomb exploded. With Stubby's cues, the soldiers knew when to take cover because of an approaching bomb. The people of Chateau Thierry were grateful to the soldiers and Stubby. Some women even made the heroic canine a leather coat to keep him warm. His name and unit number were sewn into it. Stubby's duties didn't end there. One morning, as the soldiers snored and grunted in their sleep, a dark shadow crept through no man's land. Stubby's ears perked up. His nose twitched. Stubby's growls jarred Conroy awake. The soldier grabbed his rifle, fearing an attack. He peeked over the top of the trench. A German soldier lay face down in the mud. Stubby stood on his back. The growling Stubby had a hold of the enemy's trousers. He wouldn't let go until his fellow soldiers took the German prisoner. From then on, he became known as Sergeant Stubby. On November 11, 1918, the Central Powers surrendered to the Allies. Shortly afterward, Private Conroy again snuck Stubby aboard ship, but this time to return home. Stubby was treated like a true hero. He marched in parades and was awarded a gold medal for his bravery. But his story didn't end with the war. Conroy enrolled at Georgetown University, where he would study law. Stubby joined him on campus and charmed his way into becoming the football team's mascot. He even performed during halftime shows.